Hi you guys, Ginger Cook here, and it is the fabulous acrylic painting Monday. I know you've been waiting for this all week, and today we're going to be painting a more of an abstract type of vase and flowers. So you'll still recognize the fruit and the flowers, but it's going to be in a little looser, more abstract way than, say, if we'd painted them photorealism. So this is a lot of fun. This painting is all about colors. And colors and complementary colors. We'll be talking about that, why certain colors we put together and why, and what our center of interest is and all that good stuff. And we're going to be learning a little bit about painting design when we do it. So why don't you follow along? Even if you're a beginner, you can learn a lot from this. And traceables are available on our website for Orange members and above. And that's paintingwithginger.com, okay? All right, let's get started.
Oh, somebody's got to push a button. My turn.
Okay, so I have a traceable here. These are the traceables we'll be using in the future for our vase and flowers. And I've traced this on this is just a canvas board we got at Cherries, Arteramas, a 9x12. And it's just sort of like orange and white. That's the color of this, but just any pale background would do. You could use yellow. You know, I happened to pick this because it was one we had. No other reason than that, and I wanted a light background. And you've heard me say it again and again, and I'm going to say it again for those of you who forgot that I keep saying this again and again. But reds and yellows do best painted over white, all right? So what we want to be able to do is take a little tiny brush like this. This is a little 3 or 1/2 inch ruby satin silver angle brush, and we're going to just go into our titanium white paint, and we're just going to paint the flowers white. We'll just get that done in a hurry, as we want to thank our mods for being here. Who's here, John?
Well, we got all kinds of people here. My goodness gracious.
Okay, that doesn't help me. Of all kinds of people that are here, baby, who is here?
We have moderator Liz, Luann, Lynn from the Quebec office, Steffi from... We have a lot of frozen people.
We've got... yeah, wow.
We're glad you guys unfroze yourself enough to come join us.
I'm telling you, I was reading a book earlier today, just like a little novel, nothing fancy. And it was about a lady, and she was in a snowstorm, and I was getting colder and colder reading it. I just turned the heat up in the house another notch. I just was feeling really chilled. It's funny, if this were the same temperature in the summer, I wouldn't be cold, but I realized that I'd been in stocking feet and my tile floors are very cold. So I finally put some fuzzy shoes on. My fuzzy Crocs, you guys, you know those, right? The fuzzy Crocs. And notice I'm using the corner of this brush to paint this in. But of course, we're nothing like what's happening up where Steffi is and some of the people up in the very cold, north east, right? And I think I talked to my daughter, Cinnamon's husband, John Cooney, and he expressed to me that they had snow, but we're staying toasty warm in the house. And the last time I talked to Liz in Georgia, right? She was getting up on a ladder and nailing some boards to the ceilings vents so that when they ran the generator, the fumes didn't go up into the attic. So
well, that's always a good thing to do.
Everybody, yeah, it's probably clever, huh? Everybody's doing their best to try to figure out to stay warm, and we just hope where we live that the Texas grid doesn't fail. Texas is the only state that isn't connected to any other states. Like if you live in Wisconsin, and there's you can then, if you lose your grid, you can kind of tap into somebody else's.
You can borrow from your neighbor.
You can borrow from your neighbor, but Texas has felt like they wanted, for the longest time, they want to be their own country, you'd think, because they take great pride in the fact that they don't get help from anybody. They don't want help, they don't want to, and nor can they help anybody, which is another thing to think about too. Share the grid, or France, or, you know, regular countries where they haven't broken it all up into individual fiefdoms and all warring over who gets the cheese kind of thing. All right, so I've kind of painted my flowers here, you can see that. And then I'm going to paint this other side, yes? I think I can leave this for the orange ones. I think the oranges can be on top of the orange. Probably could have left that one alone.
You guys may experience buffering. It is not on our end from what we can tell. It's got to be freezing between us and YouTube because we're giving maximum output. We're on fiber optic now, so we have really no problem uploading. And I'm getting a message from YouTube, they're not receiving enough. But you know, when you talk to one computer, you know, when we go from here to YouTube, it goes through 4 or 5 different hubs, or they're called hops, before it actually gets to YouTube. So somewhere along the line, we've got a little snafu, and nothing we can really do about it.
Can they turn their
nothing they can do about it.
Nothing?
No. No, because YouTube is saying they're not receiving enough data, but we're putting out more than they generally want. So, not us.
Not us. Have we tried this since we did the new?
Oh yeah, we've done 2 shows on the fiber since then.
On the fiber, okay. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably find out how many hops we are from them.
All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of white paint. Let's see, I had somewhere I used to have a mixing panel tray here. It disappeared on me. You know, I can mix the colors on. Do you know where that went, John?
The gray panel?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, John always is so nice. He cleans up, you guys. It's just great. And sometimes I don't have any clue where anything is. I'm not making just an observation, you understand, right?
Oh, I had it.
Because he had it. Just ask him. He had it.
Yeah. Because we rearranged when we did the palette swap.
Oh, we rearranged some stuff. There we go. All
you
right.
came into the room and messed me up.
Oh, that's it, right? Did she love that?
I mean, I was fine. Everything was organized.
I want to talk about colors for a minute. I've got just a plate full of colors because I'm using say what palettes are good for just more than one thing. So what I've got is some yellows, cad yellow light and cad yellow medium. I've got cadmium orange, cad red light, cad red medium, Naphthol Crimson, magenta, some Holbein pink, luminous rose color. We've got some phthalo green, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue, and a light green that's made by Holbein, but you can mix phthalo blue and yellow and white will make that light green. It's just for the simplicity of it. We've got some browns over here, burnt sienna and burnt umber. This is pretty much our standard. And then I think I've got a little purple over here. Just some YouTube, and I don't want to fool around with the dryer and all this time. I'm just going to take some cadmium yellow and a little bit of green color and a little bit of, say, raw sienna. Let's take a little bit of that green. And I'm going to just kind of paint that color in here. Take a little cad yellow light with that. I want that a little bit brighter. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint this background in, sort of this abstract background. Just kind of move around here like that. I can do this because it isn't any one particular thing. Does that make sense? It's here, but there's just a little bit of this color showing in my design. Okay. And there's a little bit of this color, the same color on this leaf. As long as we're doing it, we might as well put that in there. Okay. Other than that, that's all that's there. Okay. And if I took some white on my brush and just came over here to the mixing pot, and all I'm doing is adding white, I can come up here like that and just kind of scribble on some of this light color like that. Doesn't have to be too great, just going on like that. Take a little titanium on top of that and just barely touch it, okay? Just really loose painting here, okay? And as long as I'm into the white color, I might take a little bit of white and orange and just a titanium white. Now, those of you who are new to painting, I'm going to suggest to you that that if you're still using student paints, at least get I would say, invest in white. Invest in a good white.
Get a good titanium white.
Good titanium white, like golden. I think that's important. What's a sort of peach color? Put a little yellow with that. And just kind of lightening this background up just a little bit. Usually what happens is you need a few layers of paint on your canvas anyway. So if you don't get this particular color, don't sweat over the color. Just get something down that you can use to get a layer of acrylic paint so the next layer can grab it. That's what you're going for.
Well, for those that are interested in the technical aspect of things, I did what's called a trace route from us to YouTube. And there are 10 hops. And as it was going, it got stuck in Dallas for a little bit. So there's a holdup in Dallas. There's a holdup in a lot of different places along the way.
Oh, because of the bad weather?
Yep. The lines are frozen, so it's slowing us down. It says we have good feed right now, but it's interesting. Just thought I'd share that little tidbit with you.
Well, that's good. How did you find that out, John?
You do what's called a trace route.
And how do you do a trace route? Somebody wanted to do that. Is that over our pay grade?
Yeah.
Oh, listen to that, you guys.
Programming stuff.
We're all too dumb to know that. Just smart John knows that. The rest of you, so sad. It's too hard to explain it to you, Lucy. Can't explain it to you, right?
Hey, you know, you got to call them like you see them.
Is that what that's called? Calling it like you see them? Oh, gosh. Well, gosh. Isn't that interesting, huh?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
I think that's a riot, don't you? You guys, come on, a little bit.
I think it's great.
Now, when you're seeing this, you're going, oh my God, this is such an ugly painting. Can't anybody want to paint it? Maybe that's how you'll feel when it's done too. I don't know. I don't take responsibility for this. This is what I'm painting today. You know, and you might learn something even if you never paint it, right? I think if you could get past the idea that you're decorating your house with the artwork and then maybe just paint something because you might learn the technique, okay? Because who's to say this technique wouldn't happen for you in something else that you wanted to paint? And that's the funny thing about art. You never know. You just don't know when that might be true. All right, so here's some cad red on this orange here. Cad red, it's cadmium red light, okay? Okay, and I've got one over here. I'll cover that. And I've got a couple of little orange guys here of some kind. So we'll put those in, little tangerine things. All right, so far so good. And I'm kind of looking, I don't see anywhere else. I could put a little orange right there as long as I'm there. So that's the only other place I can see it where I need orange at this red hot minute. I know on this side of our wall we want some blue. I guess we could put that in.
Could you go slightly to the left?
Yeah,
That's good.
We could put some blue in here. So let's take some white and some phthalo blue. Okay. And let's put a little tiny bit of magenta in it, just a drop, like 1%, right, like that. There you go. Just sometimes maybe 2% now. It's a little bit more. There we go. We're going to come in here like this and paint this darker background in around our flowers, keeping the brush strokes kind of all going kind of down, right? So it's kind of an interesting way to paint this. Again, I think it would be much easier to just get this background done and then just trace on the rest of it. But nonetheless, we can all be lazy and do it this way too, which is okay. You know, we talk about that you're sitting, I don't know where in the world you are, but you think about a little more magenta on this side right here. You think about, I can remember when we had rabbit ears, and which were these little antenna things that looked like rabbit ears. They sat on your TV, and you kept moving them around looking for a signal, and you put tin foil on it and all kinds of stuff to make it work. Does anybody else remember that?
Or have your sister stand there and hold it because she was electrified enough.
Yeah, somebody had to sit there and hold it, right? And back when Cinnamon's dad was, it used to get a magazine, I think we talked about this before, called Mother Earth. It was kind of a magazine for people who wanted to live in the wilderness. It's a little bit of this pink color now, this Holbein rose. And anyway, he built this satellite dish in a kit. It was huge. I mean, it was this, oh my God, it was huge. And it was in the backyard, it was on cement, and you had to go out and turn it, and then the person in the inside would yell, more this way, more this way. So a little this lighter color coming down on here. Remember, everything gets layered. Sometimes when you're doing stuff like this, you can just hold your brush flat. Don't want anything quite that red, so let's try a little bit of that and some white. Okay. All right, a little bit more blue. And then we'll just very easily, don't get this background too busy or the whole painting is going to look too busy. We're just suggesting a color here, okay, this transition. Okay. And I think I want some blue under here. That's nice. Where else can I put the blue? Well, I can put some blue on this wonderful vase. I'm going to just do some white and phthalo blue. And that's kind of pretty, right? Put some of this blue color right here. Vases are interesting. A lot of people have trouble painting vases, and I've never understood that because they're so, you can draw a vase probably easier than you can draw anything. Vases and cups and things like that. I mean, you really can. They are just easy peasy to do. And these flowers are pretty easy too, quite honestly. These are pretty easy flowers. But, okay, so I want the orange in front of that, okay? Now here I'm going to just take some purple and ultramarine blue, and I want something dark on the vase right here. That's going to be up here like that. My dark side of the vase. And that can just be there like an underpainting color. I got something darker under here. Okay. Here's our dark shadows. All right. I have a very backwards way to paint this, but it's kind of fun too to just kind of break the rules and do different stuff. Do you have any questions, John?
Just being wild and crazy. Are the Holbein luminous colors?
Not all Holbein are luminous. You have to buy the luminous set.
Or individual tubes.
Individual tubes, or you can buy a kit with the luminous colors in it.
Yeah, it's a luminous series.
It's a series, yeah. So no, not all Holbeins are
not luminous.
Are not that. But they're the only ones that make a luminous color. That Pepto-Bismol pink they make is just nobody else has got it. I remember doing art lessons for this lady, and she wanted that pink, and she said, I need this color pink. I said, honestly, I don't know how you're going to get that pink. And I didn't. I had no idea how she could get a pink like that, because it's not a natural, you know, a pigment thing. It's very bright, and, you know, reds are primary colors, and it was so bright. And
well, here's a good question for you.
yeah.
I was on the Holbein site, and they said the luminous colors were figurative. What does that mean?
I have no idea. What do you think it means, John? I don't know.
In that context,
No idea.
I know they're not a permanent. They will fade and lose their luminous part and just go back to the flat color.
But I really don't know. I
guess
made
we'll
that
have to,
color. Just a second. I want you to know how I made that color. That color was made with phthalo green, white, and phthalo blue to make that kind of white color.
Great color.
This one, this blue here. I was busy making it while you were chatting. And
Oh, I'm so
I want
sorry.
everybody to know how I made it, because they're going to want to know. I've got some of this color right here. This is fun, though. It reminds me of that first Van Gogh painting we ever did on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
With the green vase. Everybody liked that so much, you know. And this is kind of different compared to that, but you know, that's all right. That's what's fun about it. I get a little bored painting the same thing, and I'm sure you get a little bored seeing the same thing. So for me, you know, just painting something a little different, that's fun.
Well, it's not figurative.
You know, it's just,
it's fun.
to me, it's just a little bit more entertaining to paint, just paint something else, right? Anyway, I think it's wonderful that you're all on tonight, and that that you can hear us at all. I think it's pretty interesting. Here's some yellow, a little bit of cad yellow.
Okay, so it's basically what I said about the Holbein, that that word fugitive is not figurative. I couldn't read a smaller screen.
What, did you look it up, John, or
Oh
something?
yeah, I looked it up. It refers to the paint that are not light, fast, or permanent. Meaning that, like I told you, the luminous is going to fade or break down over time, and the colors will shift to what they would be without the luminous. It's regards to their permanency. They are
Okay.
not permanent.
Well, that's good to know, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, if you did a painting and you sold it to somebody, you might tell them, you know, this is going to fade with time. You know, be upfront
Well, I
with
mean,
them.
you know, and then when they talk about time, you know, acrylics will be good for 100 years. So their idea of time, and maybe ours, is going to be slightly different too. What do you guys think? I mean, what we mean by time. So I'm going to just...
So there you go.
I'm just
We
changing
taught
the
you
blues.
something today.
Notice I'm just, you know, keep layering the blues in right here like that. Okay, so I basically got this blue side, this sort of this purple side, and I want something lighter over here because I've got my vase here. I'm going to just do a little altering from my original design so that that color is a little bit lighter than that side. Good to know. Now let's double test this and see. All right, so we got we got some. We want to put a little bit of light there. Here's a little bit of light here.
Let's thank Ramona for her contribution that came in through PayPal. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mona. It's so appreciated.
Ramona.
Huh?
Ramona.
Ramona, thank you.
R-A-M-O-N-A.
Ramona, thank you very much, Ramona. The okay, so we kind of leave that vase there. And I want to just take a minute. Remember I told you that vases were easy to do? I know you heard me say that, and I just want
And we believed you.
to tell you why. And this is a refresher for those who, most of you know this by now, but in case you don't. Okay, so you want to paint a vase, or a wine glass, or whatever it is you want to paint, some sort of jar of some type. So you know you want it this high, and let's say this is the base, this is where it's got to sit. And you think the lip of it should be maybe this long, okay? Like that. So you find the middle of this and draw a line straight down. And let's say this side and this side should be the same length, okay? And in this case, you know right about here, you want it to be a little wider. So you measure this, come over here, measure that, put a little dot, right? Now, let's just say I think this is why I want it a little narrower, so if I cut off something off on one side, I've got to do it on the other. So now I'm going to say it's just this wide. Then I'm going to take this point and curving this way and this way. See what I did? Curving that way. Now, I want to say that it comes in here and here, okay? So I'm going to say this is my lip of the vase, and it's coming here, right? So then I might just bring a C in here like that. See how easy that is to do? So if you wanted it narrower, okay, now this is the same principle. You want it narrower, you're saying this is the end, and I want it to end here, then you'd have to cut it in closer here and closer there. That's all. So the vases are so easy to draw, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know everybody likes it when I get out the tablet and show things, but I think it makes a difference. A lot of times you'll see people with very wobbly vases, and I'm never quite sure why they had a wobbly vase, because again, vases are very, very easy to do.
Easy for you to say.
Well, didn't you think so? I mean, you can use a, you know, if you can't eyeball it in, you can even use a ruler and just see that, you know. Like for instance, if I were to take this, now where'd that little pencil go, right? So if I'm saying that this is like this, if I draw a line here, the point has to come up here. Do you see that? And go back. So see how my vase is slightly, if I go from this point to this point, right, that one has to come up. That's, now you're not going to see it because I have a, the reason I didn't quite do that was because I've got a leaf that's going to go there. But in theory, so you guys see what I'm talking about, this corner and this corner would be the same height, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, I think that should make sense. You know, like for instance, let's say this is the center of our vase. So then this is the base here, that's the base here. Maybe it would be a little bit wider here, okay? And then I want to take, we're just going to leave the vase alone because I think that's kind of a fun thing just to know is you can, all these things are fixable.
Well, I saw a question earlier, is this an ODG or a ginger original?
This is an original ginger. It's based off the ODGs that we have been learning to paint, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what this is. So I'm going to take a little bit of luminous rose and white. Let me put some white out that doesn't have blue in it. And I'm just gonna, I know I want a pink flower here. If you don't have luminous rose, use magenta, okay? And I know I've got another one up here, with this one, just the first few colors, that one. And I'll get a little more white on my brush and say, I know I want this one a little bit brighter. And we'll put a little bit of something darker on the inside on these petals. Okay. And you could do something with this one, kind of facing this way. That's the other thing you want to remember. You don't want all the flowers facing you the same direction, all the little eyes looking at you, right? You want some looking away when you're designing your flowers. Okay. And this is some magenta and white. And I'll show you the difference. Not that much a difference, magenta and white. Here's magenta, and that's this flower right here. You see, it isn't that much difference, is it, you guys? That when you add white to it. So magenta is mostly a color you can get along with just fine. Something darker here. Okay. And then I'm going to, that's fun, right? So, all right, so I'm going to rinse the brush and just leave this flower sitting there for a while. Now let's do another coat of color on this nose side. See, I used the paper towel to kind of clean my brush. I'm going to get some cad yellow medium and put on there. This is already had some orange on there, so I want that one to be lighter here. And I want something a little darker, so maybe I'll take a little bit of red and orange. Let's say I want this side to be a little darker right here. There you go. And what can I do with these? Same thing. Let's just do a little bit of a shadow there. A little bit of a cad red shadow over here. All right. Wipe the brush off. You can use the sound effects too. It's very fun. And we're going to take a little bit of yellow, cad yellow medium, and put there. Just a couple of brush strokes. 1, 2. Don't overdo it. Just if you get the color wrong, that's all right. Just leave it and come back to it. All right. That's all you're doing. Just kind of 1, 2, go. And here's the cad yellow light, which will be on this one. Okay, on that end. And a little yellow oxide on this end. Too much paint on the brush. Just wipe the excess paint off. And then we'll just a little bit of Ross in another little shadow, maybe a little brown shadow right here. It will mix into the paint, because if I use burnt sienna on top of that, there you go, there's a little shadow for that lemon. Okay, and a little shadow for this one too. All right, and then the next one we're going to do is the green one. That's just sitting right here. Just be careful when you cut it in, because that's your other green fruit. And it can just sit here and be green. It doesn't have to do anything particular, except maybe have a green shadow here. All right, so far so good. So this is sort of fun. All right, so we've got this dark green, phthalo green with a little phthalo blue. And let's go in here like this. Get more of the green color. And let's say this is we got a leaf here that's doing that. And I've got a leaf down here that's doing that. Okay. And it's all coming up here under there. And then I've got a leaf that's, well, we've got one coming out this way that's doing that, which we'll put something light on. Got one coming this way. Leaf pattern. These angle brushes are wonderful for leaves. Let's put a little yellow with that. Okay. And I've got some sort of green in here like that, which we don't have to talk about. And got some green in here. All right, so I put a little bit of green in. I want that bright green here, this one here on the vase. I want to bring down that brighter green right now. And I'll put a little bit of yellow with it, light cad yellow light, because I want that lighter on the vase. All right. And then I have to stop and paint another flower white, which I forgot. But that's all right, doesn't matter. We see it now. This one here is another white flower. There's no water on my brush, all right? This is important to know. There's no water, and it comes over the top of the vase like that. So, you know, if you got any flowers you forgot, you know, now's the time to just throw a few in. But I think for the most part, that was the only one, okay? And maybe something right here. There was some yellow that went here, and I forgot that, so all right. All right, there we go. Fix that flower. So far, so good. Let's see. Let's fix this one a little bit more.
Hey, let's give Sharon a thank you for her PayPal donation, and she's got a ticket in the old fishbowl.
Oh, Sharon, that is so awesome. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know what the fishbowl is, John, well, I paint this, I feel like the queen painting the roses white, or did she paint them red? Whatever. We're painting these white. You can explain what is the fishbowl, dear John?
What is the fishbowl?
Can you explain
let me do my best explaining what we're doing.
Yeah, so explain that, right?
Wait a minute, I lost my screen. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
During a quarter, and our quarters run, this particular quarter is running December, January, and February, at the end of February. For every $25 donated over that 3-month period, you'll get a ticket in the fishbowl. And at the end of the quarter, at the beginning of the next quarter, we will do a drawing of one of the paintings that we have up for offer, which we don't have them over here, do we? I'll go grab them. And the first person picks, you know, whichever ticket comes out, they get to pick the first painting and on down the line.
Out of the 4.
Out of the 4. So the more you donate, the better chance you may have. But that's not always necessarily true. We had one person even last month only had
1 ticket.
They had 1 ticket, and the month before that, the person had 2 tickets. So it's interesting.
Well, this is phthalo blue, in case anybody what other color I grabbed. This is not phthalo blue, this is ultramarine blue. Okay? You see how we changed the colors on the vase? Just why you guys weren't looking. Oh my gosh, you guys, how strange is this? This is such a funny kind of painting. This is almost counterintuitive in a sense, you know, painting like this. But on the other hand, it's a lot of fun too. Yes and yes?
$5 word, intuitive.
And John's going to show the fishbowl stuff. I'm going to put a little of this green here, just a little bit of white and green in it. Bring that down like that. Yeah. It's been so long you can't remember which ones they are anymore. This was a...
Just confirming.
This was almost a chartreuse green that's in here. Which I think is really fun, this color right here, like a chartreuse green. And, all right, so I'm pretty good there. Now, one of the things that makes pictures like this is having light edges places. Like, for instance, if you see the white here on my brush, if I just tap it around this side of the leaf. Now, that leaf's pretty wet, so it probably would be better to have it dry when I did it. But see, just that little bit of white, or that little white here, okay? That kind of stuff makes a difference. All right. So now we're back to painting the, let's go back to painting the, let's paint some yellow flowers in now. What do you think? So remember, these were white, so now we're going to paint them yellow. Yeah? That's always good, yes? And I know I want this one to be yellow first. It's going to be yellow and orange, but we're going to start with cadmium yellow. It's a great, beautiful color. I've got a little bit of yellow flower coming here. Okay, so I've got this flower, and this one. We're going to do cad yellow light, because it's going to get orange over it. Okay. So with the exception of, okay, so those are only red flower, yeah, orange flowers, but if we have cad yellow light on our brush, where could we put it? Because we put it on top of this lemon and lighten that up right there again. Okay. Sometimes yellow, like anything else, a couple of coats can be effective. And maybe a little of some bright orange right here on this one right here on top. All right, don't want to get too close to that fun little green one. All right. So, as we move around this picture, you go, oh my gosh, this is such a hot mess. This will never come out. Ye of little faith. This is fun. I love stuff like this. You got to think of it like doing a crossword puzzle. It's like doing a puzzle, like a little bit of light green here. Okay. It is definitely like doing a puzzle. And for instance, I know that I want a green. I just showed you the other thing, but I know I want a green leaf right here on this edge of the vase. So even if you've got your vase not so perfect, you could put the green leaf in. There you go, green leaf here, green leaf here. Okay. Something green right here. And, oh, I like these lighter greens here, like for instance right here. There's a lighter green right there. And we'll just put a few. Okay. You'd think there'd be a lot more green in here, but there really isn't. I can do a little bit of green and red to make something dark, like 1% red with the green. And that's my really dark color. I want to come up here. This is really dark up here. And then I want to make sure that I show a green leaf coming over the top of this one. And so you leave some things that are sort of abstract and some things have shape. And if you do that, remember wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if you can kind of keep that in mind when you're painting this, I think you'll be okay. All right. Because you know that, like if I said something was light right here, just put the paint on your brush, wipe most of it off, okay? Maybe load it again because it's not as light as I want to get a little bit of yellow, tap most of it off, come this way, like with the brush, and just a brush stroke and stop, okay? Brush stroke and stop. And if I took some white right here, maybe I want to light something light on this leaf right here, I would have to make sure my brush was clean to do it. Okay, a little bit of light there, right? Yes and yes. Okay, something of light, kind of light green right there.
Hey, nice. We had a question here I missed from earlier. What blues did you use for your vase?
What did we use for base? I just used sort of a light orange, but I think you could really
for the vase
done a light yellow or anything really.
For the vase. The blue vase.
Oh, the vase is phthalo blue, and then it's got some white. Phthalo blue and white is the vase base.
Okay.
Whoops! Look at that. Okay, let's move this. Get a new one here. So I want a little bit of this orange up here in this vase here, up on this side. Choop, one, choop, choop, stop. Yeah? And then, believe it or not, I want black.
I don't believe it.
We hardly ever use black, but we're going to use black in this, and it's pretty effective. Let's see, where's my black? Here's a lamp black. I'm going to use some lamp black. There's a reason for that. If I think of it, I'll tell you. Just, sorry. All right, this is I use the flow on this because we hardly ever use black, and usually it's for something with thin lines. But I'm going to use a clean brush with that because I don't want to, okay, no water and a clean brush, and I want some black on this face. Right here. Black can be very powerful if you don't overdo it. I want something kind of black up here with this leaf up here.
Let's give a cheers to Jules for the zealous support. Generosity is inspiring, and here's a ticket or two in the old fishbowl.
Jules, thank you so much. That is so awesome, and it means the world to us, John and I. Okay, so let's get this down here like that, a little bit of blue, a little bit of phthalo blue. All these colors that you just barely put in there, right? Like, for instance, I want a little bit of, you're too big a brush, let's find something different.
Well, here's a good question.
Oh, I love good questions. I like questions, you guys. What you got?
Is there an average or number of ranges of how many different colors or shades or tones you use in a colorful painting? I.e., tonalists use very few shades.
That's not necessarily true about tonalists, but they don't. A lot of times tonalists will start out with a black and white picture, and then they're working on values. That's their main thing, is the values of whether something is lighter or darker than something else, right? And what Impressionists discovered was that when you went outside, a shadow wasn't just brown, it had a color, okay? And so they went and looked for the colors of things, and then in abstract artists and stuff, it just, you know, we're working with complementary colors here. So we're not, these are just not abstract colors in that sense. We're definitely looking for, say, a complementary color is how we're doing this. But you couldn't blanket and say that tonalists didn't do a lot of colors. They had colors, for sure. And I mean, we've done videos of just using 3 or 4 colors. And you can certainly do that too, yes and yes.
But in reality, your opinion is the more the color, the better.
Well, I don't know. It's just I like bright, colorful things. And I just think this is pretty. It's a little busy, and I don't care. I like it. It makes me happy. You know,
that's the bottom line.
I read somewhere, this guy was coming to this lady's house, and she was invited over or something, and the story went, she invited him over. She says, I don't know. She says, my house is so cluttered. And he said, he says, your house is full of joy. He says, neat is not joyful. I don't know. This is, to me, joyful, this painting.
Yes, it is.
You'll notice, just putting in the colors. I could have simplified. I just didn't feel like it, Just didn't feel like simplifying it, but I could see where you might want it simplified.
If I don't have black paint, might I use Paynes Gray or Persian blue?
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
probably go with the Paynes Gray.
Paynes Gray is ultramarine blue and black, and you could have done that too, and I could have done that. I just thought, my reference kind of showed it black, and so I decided to go for the black, right? Like going for the gusto. Because remember, acrylics dry darker. See, I just wanted that black, kind of that black color, but want a little red on the vase too. There, okay. All right. But yes, absolutely, you could just absolutely do that. And let's see, let's put a little red underneath it here, a little shadowy, kind of a purple color. Yeah. And let's go into the purples now. We'll work on those a little bit. Purple and white. that Holbein mauve. This could be magenta and ultramarine blue would give you this color. And we're not really defining the flowers with this color. We're just saying there's some in here. But we're not telling you exactly why they're there.
We're not talking about it.
Does that make sense? Yeah, there's some flowers there with this purple, but we're not really talking that much about it. This one may have a little bit of purple in here, in this petal. But the purple is far and few between here, I guess is the way I'd say it. Something darker, lighter than something else. Here's some magenta and white. I tell you what, I hope you look forward to Mondays. I look forward to Mondays because I never know what I'm going to paint on a Monday. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I never know. I have no idea.
For those of us that try to put the cassette
no
together,
idea what we're going to paint on Mondays.
Yeah.
Mondays could be anything. And it seems like when we look at statistics, and John and I take the time to look at statistics, okay, what we see is that flowers seem to do better than just about anything. You know, so if you see us doing a lot of flowers, it's because we've tried other things.
And you guys seem like flowers, then landscapes. That's your order. Flowers, landscapes, and then our weird stuff that we do.
Yeah.
What can we say? Hey, we have another thank you to give. Let's do that. By golly. Let's give ourselves a standing ovation to Elizabeth for her donation that came in through PayPal.
Woo! All right.
And
happy dance, happy dance. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy dance. Woohoo!
Oh, God, if we drank, this would be terrible.
Wouldn't it be? Gosh, yes. It would be, wouldn't it?
Oh, well.
Notice I used this color to differentiate this flower from that one. The method to my madness here. I know that doesn't look like there's any method at all to this painting. And I'm sorry if it doesn't.
Oh, I see it all.
But I think it's kind of fun. You know, you guys.
You guys.
I think it's kind of fun. A little bit of purple and blue together. And I want something darker right there. Sometimes you got to see where the contrast is. And you can kind of see where I'm going with some of this stuff. I don't know. Where are we going? Remember that song? Are we going Harvard or Fair? Who was that? I forget.
How would I even begin to know?
A little bit of white here on this flower. Just a little tiny bit of white. And you can get that if you don't put your white paint on the palette, on the Stay Wet palette, you can get a thicker look. Does that make sense? If you just avoid,
yes.
You keep the white off the Stay Wet palette, then it won't thin out on you because there's water on the Stay Wet palette, and it can thin on you. Yes, and yes. Okay, I want a little bit of white and magenta. That's this flower here. Put a little bit of red with that and white. You can still make a pretty good pink with just red and white. There we go. Let's try that. Kind of a rose color. It could be brighter, but that's the way it goes. Okay. And I didn't want to put this one in here. I didn't want to trace it on. I just was going to leave it on here. There's the top to that. And then we've got a green stem that's doing that and coming in there like this. You can always use these angle brushes are just wonderful for leaves because they just automatically want to make a leaf for you. All right. So you're laughing about something. What happened, John?
Would you paint a vase of dead flowers with the same colors as live flowers? Oh, as live flowers?
Oh, you mean
okay,
like...
wait. First question is, why are you painting a vase of dead flowers? But I guess if that's what you want to do, I would probably put one of the mother colors with it.
Well, if you're going to paint, like for instance, dried flowers, right?
Well, do you think the dead flowers, she's mean dry flowers?
You mean like dried flowers? And
she called them dead.
well, they are dead. Okay.
Yeah, but they still have their color.
Well, no, dried flowers sometimes are just in the browns and stuff. You can buy You can buy dried flowers like cattails and things like that. You can buy them like that.
Well, Brenda loves dead flowers.
I don't know. I guess I give up. Why would you do that?
She likes them, so why not?
But,
they definitely would not be as bright as these.
I wouldn't
And
think
that's what
so.
I'm saying. You put a raw umber with them or something to tone them down.
You got to
Mute 'em.
decide. Okay, so see how we're starting to fill in around with the greens around our flowers now.
I'd have to play with that idea.
Well, I can see that, John.
I like a challenge.
This has got to come up here like this. And we'll just do another little green leaf like this. So we're sort of getting the hang of all of this, yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
Just change the colored greens. And I'll just make that a little bit lighter. I don't know. This is fun. As always, I think something like this doesn't have to be so perfect. I know you want it to be perfect, but if it wasn't perfect, what would happen? Would the world come to an end if it wasn't perfect? Sometimes I think people get so wrapped up in it. I had somebody send me in some painting for personal art coaching today. Painting was absolutely stunning. There was just one tiny little thing that was kind of screwy with it, which we showed her real quick how to fix. But you'd think she'd lost the whole thread of the painting, right? Because, I mean, the painting was great, yes? And yet, she didn't think it was, because, you know, you get so tied up on a little... That would happen to me when I would sew. Maybe I did something on the hem that wasn't right, and I'd be unhappy with the whole dress, you know? The dress was fine. I just had this one little part that nobody would ever see that wasn't perfect. And it used to make me absolutely crazy. And I understand that, but, you know, sometimes you can just... Painting something like this, see what I mean when I told you could do the thick white over it and get the petals that way that you didn't think you could get before. Then come on in here with a dark center. A little bit of a dark center in there.
Oh, Ginger, thank you for your storytelling videos. I love them while I paint.
I'm so glad. They're fun, aren't they?
Oh, Brenda, the one with the dead flowers. When my husband gives me roses, I keep them till their afterlife.
Okay, I know this is not story time, but you guys, I have to tell this story. Is that okay?
No.
It is not story time.
We have story time tomorrow.
We have story time. Will somebody remember the story about the dead flowers
Sure.
for tomorrow?
Liz, make a note of that. Dead flowers.
Dead flowers?
That's going to be the topic of the... Topic of tomorrow.
I mean, it's kind of risky telling it, but it's so screwy to me. I'm sorry. This woman and her dead flowers, I have to tell the story, okay? I don't know how not to tell the story.
Well, the internet could go out, I guess.
Well, that's true, John. The internet could go out, and then I wouldn't not
be able
tell
to tell the story. I'd nip that in the bud.
There's our green thing here. Okay. I'm going to start working on our fruit down here. Yeah, no, sorry, remind me, because that's, and you know, my mother loved, she went to Yakima, Washington, which is on the other side of the state of Washington from Seattle, and she had my dad bring back a whole trunk full of sagebrush that she put in barrels, you know, kind of wine barrels, around the side of the house. Okay, so all down the side of the house, we had these dead. When I first met her, when I was 5, she was all into gardening, but I guess by the time I got a little older, she wasn't into gardening anymore. And yeah, and so anyhow, and she liked, you know, dead flower arrangements. A lot of people do. Now, here's why I don't do it, though I'm with you, I understand. Because somewhere in my travels, I ran across this lady that she did feng shui. Do you guys know what feng shui is?
I know what feng shui is.
Feng shui has a Chinese origin, and there is a belief that everything in your house is, you know, should be based on feng shui design. I mean, where you put your furniture, where your bed is facing, all of that. And I can read again the feng shui story, so I'll just be real quick about this. That it's I learned when kind of looking into that they felt that dead flowers was very bad feng shui in your house.
Well, don't say it now.
Now, maybe that's not true, but you know what I mean? It's like how one of my friends got her daughter to clean her room, was she told her that it was bad luck to not have her shoes all lined neatly in a row in the closet. Otherwise, it was bad. You brought bad luck on the house. So if anything in the house happened bad and the kid hadn't done her shoes that way, you know, she was going to run the risk of somehow at least being responsible for whatever other horrible thing had happened to her in her life. Now, I don't think that's true. But, you know, what if it was true? Just, you know what I mean? I guess it doesn't really hurt to keep your shoes in order. And that kid was very neat. When she came to live at my house when she was in college, she was extremely neat. And I had been working. I had never tried to scare Cinnamon into being neat, and I was not successful at all in her ever being neat. She was never a neat kid at all. Just wasn't. That was not her. Everybody has skills. That wasn't one of them. You know, her grandmother said that she wouldn't buy her any more dolls because she kept beheading them. Oh, so picky, right?
Yeah, really.
You know, and what she wanted to see how she was kind of curious how they were made. I said they were her dolls, and she wanted to take them off. You know, and I had a niece whose parents gave her those expensive dolls, you know, that kids collect every Christmas, and they were up in a cupboard above the in a little curio cabinet, right? And see, I need some more white paint out. And she was never allowed to play with them. They were just, you could just, like a museum. And I know people who keep their houses like museums. No one can sit in the living room.
Oh, that's how we were.
You know? Yeah, your parents were like that too?
Absolutely. We have the living room that's for people when you have company. Otherwise, stay out of it.
Yeah, that was a thing back then, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, before that, they were called parlors. But,
Yep.
you know, and I understand why you might not, but they didn't use it either, right?
No. Nobody used it unless company was there.
Now, on the other hand, my parents, we had 2 houses. And separated by a carport. Yeah?
Yep, yep.
And so everybody, we had a kitchen and a living room and stuff like that, and they lived in their house, and we ate dinner with them once a week. But we didn't have a room you couldn't use. But they just used it. There was no television or anything in there. Why would you want to go in there? There was nothing in there. Why would you ever? Well, fine, keep your room, lady. I don't need it. I've got a TV in mine. As long as you don't take the TV, we're all good. Yes and yes. You know.
It didn't make any sense to have a room. You'd sit there, and what do you have to do? Just stare at everybody?
But my best friend had one.
Had one what? A room?
Her parents had a room like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's we didn't have a guest room of any kind because my parents thought it was cheaper to have people stay at a hotel. Then you could decide how long you wanted to pay for them to visit.
That's a good, you know, that'll work.
I know. It's kind of shocking. You're going, oh my God, there's people like that. Oh yes, sweetheart, there's people like that. Absolutely. There are people like that, for sure.
Hey, let's give Anna Marie a true hero thank you for her donation that came in through PayPal.
Thank you, Anna Marie. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody that has participated in our Academy membership drive that we did last December. And let's see, I think I want...
And the first batch of paintings will be going soon. I know I've told you that before, but...
Well, the varnish wasn't dry, wasn't
the varnish wasn't dry, and the weather got bad, and blah, 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 blah. Blah. They're coming, though. We promise.
Yeah, they're varnished. We got a bunch coming.
A bunch are coming. Just give Pat a thank while we're here. Pat, thank you for your donation, and you got a ticket in the old fishbowl.
Yep, for sure.
Swimming with the fishes.
It would have been nicer to have had a chance to dry that first before I did these, but maybe I'd just take a second and dry this. Is that okay with you, John? Just give me 5 seconds, you guys. I gotta dry this.
Wait, I want to try something here. Mute it or something? Wait. I can do this. Hold on a second. I gotta find the thingy. I got this down. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Hey, I think I did it. I turned off my other microphone. I have my other mic on. So let me know how this works out. Hey, again, thanks for everybody for participating in our little get-together on Mondays. Do subscribe if you haven't. It costs you nothing. It does help. We're trying to get our membership up. We are the lowest in the acrylic painting arena, and we would love to have you be a part of our family.
All right, am I back on?
You are back on, my queenness.
Okay. Okay, just kind of give it a second coat of white here in a couple of places. Which is always good to do. All right, so I have all these fun colors on here.
They're great colors.
I know.
So tomorrow, if the luck has it, we'll be having a story time.
Which is, yeah. All right, so those are always fun to do, story times. And of course I enjoy talking to you and, painting this too, because I want to make sure that we're put this in redder. Not quite getting the color I want on these, but pick some up. Want some dark ones and some light ones. You can be a dark
contrast. A little yin and yang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Some homes have two doors. One for company comes through, and the other one for the help and everyone else. Did you have two doors? Is the front door and the side door?
No,
in our house, we mainly use the side door.
Though, again, this is story time, but this is such a fast story, right?
Oh.
When you mentioned that.
Okay, this is a prelude to story time reality.
Because I remember that I was visiting my brother Jensen. Cinnamon was about, I don't know, 6 or so. And he was living in Southern California. And his son Reese was about, Reese was about, I don't know, 10. And he'd been out playing in the yard, and he had come into the house, came through the front door, and was hobbling and kind of howling, right? Poor baby. And apparently, he had cut his foot. I mean, really bad. It was bleeding like a sieve, right?
How?
And my brother was furious that he came through the front door with his broken foot. Why not? He didn't come through the back door. And I remember looking at my brother, says, yeah, Reese, and just remember this. You bleed to death outside or come into the side door, because nobody obviously gives a crap about your foot in this house. My brother said, that's not what I meant. I said, sure it is. That's what you told him. I said,
that's what it sounded like for sure.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You know?
Oh, I
said,
love that.
That's what you told him. Because it is what he told him, right? Well, I didn't mean that. And I said, yeah, huh? Okay, yeah, just keep it up. That's what you mean, you know. That, of course, none of his children were talking to him when he died either. No surprise there, huh? Well, but that was another story. It's not totally his fault. We'll talk about Uncle Jensen sometime. But suffice it to say that he had an interesting life before he croaked. What are you?
I'm a luminous rose. I'm a luminous rose. What am I?
Sometimes red takes a couple coats. You can get away with a little bit.
If you really want it to pop. Another layer.
Sometimes you can do a couple of coats of stuff.
Hey, we have Eric in the house. Hello, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Nice job on your gypsy wagon.
Yeah.
That's a thing of beauty.
Okay, where do we? There we go. Again, we're not doing very much detail on these flowers. We're just suggesting some. This is just meant to be painting very loose.
Loosey-goosey.
Just, very loose. We're just painting some stuff in here like that. And you can have a little bit of white here and there. Kind of that kind of makes a difference. Make sure I have my purple shadows.
Ginger, do you want us to post on Facebook paintings finished after pack?
What's that?
When they post on Facebook, would you want them to post them after the pack?
I wish you would post them after the pack, and here's why. You're going to get a lot, if you just want some kudos, you're going to get a lot more kudos of people. If you post it first and then say suggestions welcome, and then you send it in for pack, and I say this, you know, then by the time you post it again after pack, everybody's over your picture and on to the next one. They saw that, don't really know that you did any changes. You'll get a lot more bang for the buck, and also that when you do post it, okay, you know, want a little bit of a dark line right here to separate these two. When you do post it, I think you'll find that you might need to send it back and forth to me a few times. I wouldn't get in a big hurry about jumping to post something on Facebook if you absolutely don't need to do it right away. Though I've noticed that we have sort of a we haven't had a lot of people posting. See if the mods agree with me. It seems like we've had a lack of people posting in Facebook recently. You notice that, John? Well, John, it seems like, right?
I'm not sure.
Seems like we haven't had as many people posting as normal. This little guy has a flat tire.
How'd that happen?
Oh no, he has to.
Somebody smushed him.
Yeah, so give him a little bit of a rounded base. But that's a good question. I think I would like you guys to, before you send something in for pack, take a black and white, look at it. You know, ask yourself, what could I?
Do I have enough contrast?
Do I have enough contrast? Do I need more?
It starts there.
You know, go back and check it against the original that you're emulating. Let's see. And then see how you did with the 78, this one. Bad them.
Came in, took a bite, and put it back. Yep.
Yeah, I used to like to do that with candy when I was a kid. I like to just poke my finger in the back of the candy to see if it was any
See if you
good.
liked it or not.
And honestly, I would do that today, except it's considered so rude unless it's my box of candy or something, right? Because there's just certain candy that you just can't get the taste out of your mouth if it's bad. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. And there's no escaping this.
That's true.
Honestly, guys, there's just no escaping it. So yeah, no, I would definitely let's put a little bit more luminous rose in a few places. Definitely suggest that.
PJ did the same thing until her sister caught her, and she got in big trouble for that.
Yeah, the thing about when you're having siblings like that, the thing that you have to have enough on the other kid where they don't spill. You don't tell immediately, you just gather data.
In case you need it, future.
Yeah, absolutely, in case you need it. You don't tell everybody. I always like these movies where I'm going to kill you. If you're going to kill somebody, for heaven's sakes, keep it to yourself till they're dead. Then you can tell somebody if you must tell. But you know, don't give them a heads up. Thank goodness. And see how nice and dark that shadow is right there?
Oh, I do.
Which is kind of cool, right? All things considered.
Nice.
I've having fun with this. I'll be sorry when it's over. What time is it?
Do you have a date tonight or what?
No, I just, you know, do you have a frame for this, baby?
Yeah, I do. Thanks for asking. Are you just doing a survey?
No, I actually thought you could just get off your can and go get one. But hey,
Oh, man.
hey, baby, not to put too fine a point on it, right?
We're doing a 9 by 12.
Yeah, 9 by 12, I think that's what we're doing here. 9 by 12.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I got gold. Can I use a gold? Or do you want a dark one?
I want this one a little bit lighter. This side of this
Gold will look good with it.
leaf.
9 by 12. Yep. Got one ready for you, boss. You have to show your stuff here. You can do that while I frame it.
Well, I think we're happy with this, right? Pretty happy days here.
How many thumbs up do we have out there?
How many what down?
Thumbs ups do we have? Oh, I see 156 over there. Let YouTube know you love it. Make sure that thumb is up.
You know, I tell you, really, if you're watching any of the videos, leave a comment. Even if it's just that, you know, you just take a second, leave me a comment. I like to read them. I like your feedback. And, you know, I appreciate you taking the time to tell me what, if anything, you got from the video. If you found it interesting or you liked it or anything like that. I'd love to know that too. Okay? And so anyway, we appreciate that. You're taking the time for that.
Yes, we do.
With some of those luminous colors. I've got a luminous red too, which I like somewhere. A luminous orange is a good color. What do we got going with that? Luminous orange. Ooh, yes, look at that. That's nice. Love that color. You don't want to overdo the luminous colors, but you want them in a few places. They can, on painting like this, they can make a difference. Okay? They just will pop up a color where nothing else will. Like, here, so I'm going to do a little luminous red too. Just maybe two places. Okay. Right here. And John brought a frame over, didn't you? Before we get too far, let me just show you what's coming up in the Academy.
Wait. I have one question before you do that. Mm-hmm. Would luminous pink opera be too bright for this painting?
That was this painting picture right there. That was luminous opera, and I don't think it was in a couple. I have it in a couple places, and I don't think it's too bright. Do you guys think so? I think it kind of works in a couple places. I mean, it wouldn't want it everywhere, but I think it kind of works. Like for instance, right here. I know. I kind of like it. You know, on that, I think it can be different. But Now, there was a question, and you were getting a frame, and oh yeah, I wanted to show you.
You want to show the fishbowl?
I want to thank Luann.
Oh yeah, we could do that too.
She sent me the most gorgeous lights for my backyard and bird feeder. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay.
And alien lights.
And they're alien lights, and they twinkle out in the backyard. They're solar, and they are so cool. We would show you, but then we'd have to kill you.
The aliens might take them away.
Right? And
and we got a card when you're done playing.
okay, see, we're always putting in a few little colors.
Okay, that was from Catherine. She made a donation via check.
All right, this was from Kathy, and these came in like Catherine.
Catherine Bunch.
And she just says from a subscriber friend. And Catherine, we thank you very much for that, Thompson. And there's this cute card. We didn't get to read all the Christmas cards. And then she sent us this.
No, that was from Michelle.
Michelle sent us this Michelle Brandt sent us this Christmas ornament that she hand painted. Look at the little ocean and the rocks and the little thing. Isn't that cute? It's a little wooden thing. So we want to thank her for that. And
I don't remember who gave us those. They got
and then look at these cute keychains. Here's a let me just move this out of the way. Here's a.
Oh, this was Michelle. Okay.
Look at these little keychains. There's the for John. There's the that's the Monet. It looks like John, doesn't it? And then here's the Van Gogh one with the sunflowers. For me, Vincent. How cute is that, right? So anyway, we got those from who?
That I don't remember.
He doesn't remember. They came with. I think they were in a box with a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. That was Michelle's card.
Yeah.
It goes with the.
And then here's Michelle's card, and she painted that too. Look at that.
Yes.
All right, Michelle, great job. Thank you, Ginger and John, for all your, for all of us artists. You are light in the world. And gosh, Michelle, thank you very much. We appreciated all these cards and stuff that have come in. That is so nice. Let's do some more next time. Now, kind of running out of time. And real quick, I want to show you guys a couple of the new paintings that are going to be coming up in the Academy. This is a Red Member picture, which I think is really cool. 12 by 16. It's, you know, flowers in an alpine window with a pretty bird. That's coming in soon. And then for our purple members, check this out. This is our portrait of a girl reading a book in the style of Gauguin, Paul Gauguin.
Mr. Gauguin.
So we think those are two really totally different styles of paintings, yes? But these are coming up at paintingwithginger.com, where personal art coaching gets you further down the road. And then for those of you who were asked about the paintings in the fishbowl, the ones that when we draw for the original paintings by me, we've got this log cabin. Those of you, this was one of our most successful YouTube tutorials with the glass and the purple vase. This is the companion piece to another painting we did in the Academy, which we never did a tutorial on. And we've got our cowgirl, older lady, like cowgirl. So those are the paintings that we have for the drawing for this quarter. Yeah.
And voila.
Voila. And here, dear friends, is this
framed.
Is what this painting kind of looks like in a frame. And I think the luminous colors kind of jazz it up, because this is I think you could call this painting All That Jazz, you know, that just
all that jazz.
All that jazz, don't you think so?
Absolutely.
And
you put it in a frame, you keep painting.
And then I will think I'll sign it This time with a blue pen, if I can make it go. Let's see if I can get a different one. I'll set it with this soft one. These are the Artisto pencils. Got to shake these anyway. You guys know that even if they're still writing, make sure you're really shaking them. But again, you've got an abstract floral. I'm going to sign it right here. These Artisto pens are like the Poscas, but they have more colors. And so I really like them for that. I want to put a little blue shadow under this guy. Sometimes you've got to go back afterwards and fool around with this. But I think you get the general gist of how I painted this. Yes, we learned a little bit about how to do a vase. You know, how to draw a vase. And I think that stuff is always good to know. Yes and yes. And this is the kind of painting where you can take your pens back, and if you have any ink on them. Oh, let's try this one. And, you know, you can touch up something if you need to, you know. You need to define a line or touch something up or do something where you think it might make a difference. Let's see, is that drawing maybe a little bit? So at this point, I don't see this one doing much. But, you know, you can do that, right? You can, you know, do something like this if you felt like you needed to. Probably would have the most success with a white one if I wanted to do something like that. But nonetheless, you get the idea, and I hope this brings you a little bit of joy. I mean, a little bit of chaotic joy. When this gets varnished, the flowers will really, really be bright and pretty, I think, and fun to have, you know, fun to have done. I also was curious if you'd rather have more realistic flower arrangements. If you like stuff like this, I want to know that, and don't tell me in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. All right, I need to know that in the comments more than I do in the live chat. Okay.
What do you need to know?
What kind of, if they like flowers, what kind of flowers they like to see.
Dead
okay?
ones.
You know, happy to do more flowers. But again, your input is very valuable.
It's key.
It's key.
They say that. It's key.
There you go, see? Sometimes you have to go back and say, okay, so that dried a little darker, this dried a little lighter. What can I do here? There. Isn't it interesting how just go back the next day and kind of look at what you painted and see if you if you go back and touch it up the second time, if you don't see a difference. Because I think you would. There's a little bud right back on this one. I think I put that other thing away, but I can do this right there. Little flower bud. And again, it's all supposed to be abstract. So you guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out paintingwithginger.com. Make sure you're getting our Gazette, which tell you what's going on in the art world and out our neck of the woods. And have a fabulous week, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow on Storytime.
Storytime. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.